Yo. How we doing, Met fans? You already know it is April 28th, Thursday, in our Lord's year 2022. Are you guys ready? Let's go, Mets. What's going on, everybody? How we doing? How we are doing? Audio is working. We are working, and we are live. Welcome to the Mets Life stream. I'm your boy Rompe. You already know when it comes to the Mets, it's for life, baby, and ain't no other way to do it. It's for life. Every single time, all day, every day. You guys already see the title on the screen. I don't have to say no more. You guys already know what went down yesterday. If you didn't see what went down yesterday, if you haven't heard about what went down yesterday, I'm about to clue you in on everything, right? You've heard every single opinion there is out there on the media, on social media, on sports talk radio, on Twitter, every single place you go. And speaking of social media, if you guys are following me here from the We Gotta Believe Facebook group, thank you so much for stopping by. Round of applause to you for stopping by and spending this time with me. If you guys are coming from the TikTok community, thank you for stopping by and coming through. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. If you guys have been watching me on YouTube, thank you for coming back and watching me and spending this time here with me. And also the Twitter family, you know, Mets Life Twitter, and also the We Gotta Believe Mets community group. So if you guys are joining me from there, thank you for joining me. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it very, very much. So let's get down to business. Yesterday was the final game of a 3-game set between the Mets and the St. Louis Cardinals. Cookie Carrasco was on the mound taking on former Met Steven Matz, and we all know the drama with Steven Matz over the winter. If you don't know, quick synopsis, the Mets were promised an opportunity to negotiate a contract with Steven Matz. His agent promised the owner the opportunity to negotiate a contract for his client or his or her client. I don't know who the agent is, but the agent promised a conversation to negotiate the contract, and they reneged on that, and he went and signed, believe it was 40, somewhere around 40. It was a 4-year contract. I don't know if it was anywhere between $40 million to $60 million. I don't know how much he got paid, but it's a 4-year contract with the St. Louis Cardinals, which, to be honest, is a good situation for him. What happens with him only depends on him, but they gave him a 4-year deal, so I believe he's in their plans for the foreseeable future. So he was on the mound facing the Mets. In the first inning was clean for him. For Carrasco, wasn't so clean, gave up 2 runs. The second inning, the Mets come all the way back, and they get a 4-2 lead. From there, everything went down. Everything went downhill. And to be honest, I've seen this before. So basically, Carrasco has been hot. The St. Louis Cardinals, coming into that game, they lost the last game of the game series against Cincinnati. They come back. They face the Mets on a 3-game series right after that. They lose the first 2. So they're on a 3-game losing streak after being really hot and, winning and being in first place in the Central. So the Mets come in, and the Mets beat them. Game 1, electric. Mets come all the way back in the 9th inning to drop a 5 bomb on them and win the game 5-2. The next night, it was a magnificent game pitched all the way around by the bullpen. And it was a clean game, shutout. Mets lead the league in shutouts as far as, as a whole. Pitching staff has been great. So coming into this game, you knew something was going to happen. Something was going to be chippy because in game 2, Pete Alonso gets hit in the head. And then Sterling Marte gets hit with the bases loaded, but he got hit in the shoulder. But Pete Alonso got hit in the head. And the way it looked, even on the replay, it looked very, 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 very scary. And it's not something that you want to see. We've seen what happens when players get hit in the face. We've seen when a player gotten hit straight in the head. David Wright, I remember, got hit in the head by Matt Cain from the San Francisco Giants. I think it was in 2011. Square in the head. Crack. Boom. David Wright was concussed. He was out for multiple games. Giancarlo Stanton got hit in the face. Square in the face. Broke his jaw. He was out for multiple weeks. Even last year, on the Mets, Kevin Pillar was batting up. He got hit in the face. And he was out for multiple weeks. So, Pete Alonso is one of our best players. And Lindor is one of our best players as well. Opening week, they both get hit in the face. Thank God the face mask protected them. They were able to come right in and play. They didn't miss no time, thankfully, right? But it could have been a lot worse. Just because they got hit and they bounced right up like superheroes doesn't mean it's nothing. It's something. They both had to come out the game after getting hit. That's not good. That's not good at all. It's not good, and nobody likes it. The Mets don't like it. And then since then, they've gotten hit 19 times in 20 games. That's including yesterday afternoon's game, right? So already tensions are high. Pete Alonso was upset, but he was a bigger man, went down to first base. He did get a couple words in, told the guy, cursed him out a little bit, but he went to first base. Didn't fight, but he got his couple words in. But he wasn't aggressive. He wasn't trying to like egg him on, come fight, let's go. None of that, right? So boom. Yesterday afternoon, right, like I mentioned, Mets were up 4-2. They go ahead and they give up, I think it was about 6 or 7 runs. They were down 8-4. Then 9-4. And then they were down 10-4. Then they score a run, but then, so they lose. They end up losing the game. I think it was 11-5. I don't know if it was 12-5, 11-5, but they lose the game. But in the top of the 7th, J.D. Davis was batting up, and he gets hit in the ankle by Genesis Cabrera. So Genesis Cabrera hits him in the ankle. They had to take J.D. Davis out of the game. J.D. Davis was DHing. I don't know if he was playing third. He was probably playing third, but they took him out of the game. So J.D. Davis comes out of the game, hurt. He has to go back, get x-rays. At that point, Mets players are already upset. Because earlier on in the game, Steven Matz threw a high and tight fastball that almost hit Brandon Nimmo in the first inning. But Nimmo got out of the way, thankfully. So then, already tensions were high from the night before. Then Steven Matz throws high and in, but the Mets haven't done anything yet, right? Well, top of the 7th, J.D. Davis gets hit in the ankle, and then everything, the Mets bench lose their no, not even the Mets. I think it was the Cardinals. Let me correct that. It was Nolan Arenado who just ends up losing his mind. Like, if you look at the ballpark, MLB Network has a ballpark cam. And that ballpark cam caught the whole entire thing. It's in center field. I think it's by the center field wall or something. I'm not really sure. But that ballpark cam, right, caught the whole entire thing. So, looking at it, I'm talking about strictly the MLB Network's ballpark cam. Right? So in that cam angle, you see the high. It wasn't even that high. It wasn't like Brandon Nimmo's high and tight. But it was high and tight, so Nolan Arenado's upset. But you see that after the pitch is thrown, Cabrera's, he's looking down. He's, rubbing the ball, looking down, kind of going through his motions. And I guess he kind of hears Nolan kind of like trying to get his attention. And then, so he wasn't even looking at Nolan while Nolan was like, come on. He wasn't even looking at Nolan. So Nolan is making all these gestures like, come on, do it again. Which is weird because like that kind of gangster to me is like, listen, we've seen Nolan go through this before. He's gotten hit in the head and he's chased the whole team before, right? When he was with the Rockies, that happened. I think it was the Cubs. It happened, right? But this wasn't even that. The ball wasn't even hitting him. It wasn't even close to hitting him. Listen, to be honest, it was chin music. It was brush back. It was, hey, let's get your attention. Let's move you off the plate. And if you old school pitcher, if you play baseball for a long time, baseball, that pitchers like to establish the plate. So they try to move batters back by throwing inside, tight. So that's all it was. It was an inside tight fastball, and he got upset. And everybody in their mind, we all know, like, listen, it had to happen. Was it on purpose? No, but it had to happen because the Mets are done. They're done. They're fed up. They're tired of it. So, but going back to the video, right? So Hennessy's Cabrera wasn't looking at Nolan. He was looking at the floor. Then Nolan is making his whole gesture. So that's when he runs at him, right? And not runs at him, but Nolan gets his attention. So Nolan's like, come on, do it again. So the home plate umpire's like, yo, chill out. Nolan's like, nah. And then Tomas Nido tried to like, yo, chill out, bro. But he wasn't having it. So he brushes him out the way. Now it looks kind of like, damn, man, like, you really gonna get brushed out the way like that? But let's be honest, look, he wasn't trying to get at Nolan. He was trying to tell him like, yo, chill, wasn't even that serious, it wasn't in purpose. But Nolan wasn't hearing it, pushed him out the way. Once he pushed him out the way, that was it. It was a wrap. The bench is clear, bullpen's clear. Dude is climbing over the fence, trying to get down, which I don't know why he did that, make no sense. But he climbing over the whole thing. So in the brawl, though, some cheap stuff happened. Reminded me of when Pedro threw the old Yankees bench coach on the ground after Manny Ramirez was tight and upset because of a inside fastball that was thrown. I believe it was Roger Clemens, I'm not sure. But he was upset, didn't like it, and but that's a different situation, right? Anyway, so Pete Alonso gets thrown to the ground because one of the coaches for the Cardinals was trying to hold him back. But I guess the way the position was, he was kind of like, holding him kind of tight. And then Cabrera, you see he's just grabbing him and pulls him by the neck and all that stuff, which Pete Alonso does not like. He didn't like it, and I don't blame him for not liking it. I wouldn't like it either if somebody does that to me, right? So he gets grabbed down, pushed to the ground, but shout outs to Adam Wainwright and Albert Pujols who diffused that real quick. Veterans like that, you need to just, de-escalate the situation. But they were kind of telling Pete, like, all right, just chill. It's not that serious. We're going to calm him down. We got him. But it was an ugly situation. But Nolan had no reason to get up out his body like that. Listen, you're 3 for 3 on the day. You guys are winning. You guys are. I guarantee you, if the Cardinals were losing, Nolan Arenado doesn't do that. He doesn't do that because he doesn't want to cost his team the game, right? So, but somebody brought it up. I don't know who brought it up. Somebody brought it up that at some point you got to look at your teammates. And you kind of got to tell them, like, listen, I think they were talking about our MLB Network. I think it was Al Leiter, and them over there. But they were saying, like, at some point, you got to look at your teammates that are pitching, and they're pitching pretty horribly because they're throwing inside and they're hitting guys. You got to tell them at some point, like, yo, don't do that. Because if you do that, you're gonna cost me my right. The manager had the grapefruits to sit up there and tell the press that he feels like it's a disrespectful thing and it's wrong to be throwing high and inside to his pitchers, that's gonna hit him in the head, that can cost them their careers, and this and this and that. You talking all that garbage literally the day after Pete Alonso got hit in the head by one of your pitchers. That's one. So 2, you got no leg in that race. Number 2, right? At some point, you got to tell your pitchers, like, yo, stop throwing inside. Because if one of these guys get hit, 1, you're going to get tossed out the game, and 2, there's going to be a fight, and people going to get suspended. Like, if Nolan could have gotten suspended, their hottest hitter could have gotten suspended for some stupid stuff because he want to be gangster. Now, it's fine. When somebody tests your gangster, it's okay to go ahead and show them what's up. But this isn't that. This isn't that. This is never that. It should never been that. But at the same time, it's like our manager said, right? It's like Buck said, right? Our guys got hit. They went to first. Nolan got hit. He won a fight. And the Mets aren't, they not taking nobody's stuff no more. All this stuff is like, it's not happening no more. Anybody else gets hit and gets hurt, we're going to be tight. That's it. The Mets, they have this different attitude to them. And you know what? I appreciate it. You know, I know Buck is not going to let it be something where it's like every time like we got to go out there and just start yelling and all this stuff. It's not going to be that. We got enough veterans to cool that down. But it was time, bro, because one of these guys get hit in the head and they got to go to the hospital and miss significant amount of time because they got hit in the head. We're losing something. You're messing up our season, our aspirations to try to win a championship because you want to hit players in the head. So instead of sitting up there talking about, I don't appreciate it, I don't like it, I don't think that you should be throwing up and inside, whatever, just because you knew it was quote unquote on purpose. If it was on purpose or not, your player didn't get hit, it wasn't that far inside, and one, you shouldn't have been getting hyped because you were winning the game. So I don't understand what he's up there talking about is a bunch of nonsense. He's a clown. Like Paul Lo Duca called him a clown. He's a clown. He's a clown because he think he's up there talking some rah-rah stuff that's good. No, you're not going to rah-rah your team with this one. You were best served saying, listen, tempers flared. You know, tempers were high. You know, emotions were high. We understand that their player got hit in the head, and I wouldn't want that from my player. So I understand that's why my player got upset. But this is not the way we conduct ourselves, and, you know, we're going to have a conversation about that. Like, you should have really did that. Now, I understand you don't want to throw your player on the bus, and, you know, it's not cool to, you know, either throw your players under the bus or anything. But at the same time, you know, you got to start looking at this from a different perspective and not, you know, always I got to defend my players and I got to back them up because this can't happen. You feel me? Like, this definitely can't happen. I don't want that to happen. Nah, this ain't that. So let's not let it get to that because that's crazy. But he didn't do that. What he did is he went out there and talk to the media like if the Mets were wrong for, you know, whatever happened. Like, no. First of all, your player was the one that got out of body, and we're not going to let that happen. We're not going to let somebody try to punk us. No way, no how. Right? Pushing out players and stuff like that. You don't do that. Like, where you come from? Like, who you think you is? Like, nah. It don't work that way. So, kudos to Buck. Round of applause to the whole entire Mets staff and team, you know, for one, not letting it get crazy, but two, just standing up for themselves because you always got to stand up for yourself when it comes to things like this because, you know, for years the Mets have been getting hit and they've done nothing. They've done nothing, you know, and we're talking about, this is going 2021, 2020, and 2022 where they just been leading the league and getting hit by the ball. And I understand, you know, the scouting report, I guess, is telling guys to throw inside to make the Mets uncomfortable because whatever. But nah, like you just like nah. If you know your guys can't control it, they can't handle the heat, then you don't need to be throwing inside. Period. Point blank. Major League Baseball announced today that they're gonna get together with the Mets and talk about what's going on and why they keep getting hit. So the Mets are going to voice their opinion and voice how they feel. And what Major League Baseball does from this, I have no idea. I don't know. I'm not holding my breath. I mean, look at what happened with the whole Yankees report. You make a big whole deal out of this sealed letter. One, why the letter is sealed makes no sense to me. If everything was nipped in the bud and everybody who got suspended and got fined and got this and got that, okay. But why seal the letters? You feel me? Like, not to go off base here, but, you know, Major League Baseball handling of cheating has just never been good in any year, any era. So to sit there and be like, oh, well, the Yankees cheating is not bad as the Astros cheating, it's still cheating, though. Right? And what makes it worse is, yes, the whole league does things, and this is where I want to go back to the Cardinals game when we were talking about cheating. This is where the whole league does the same thing. They have their own ways of deciphering signs and they relay them to their players and blah 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 blah. That's why when there's a runner on second, they have two different signs so like that they won't steal signs. There's a difference between figuring it out, right, or seeing a pitcher tip pitches and you're telling the team, right, because the pitcher's tipping pitches, or you deciphered the code standing on second base. Okay, I get that. That's different, right? But when you're literally using technology to decipher signs and relay, I don't care if you got fined $10, $5 for this. Everything that you did in 2016 and 2015 and 2016 is what led to the 2017 Astros cheating. So you have yourself to thank for that, Yankees. Because literally you use technology. Yes, you didn't use the Yes cameras like the Astros did. The Astros are stupid. But at the same time, you're dumb too. Because if everybody else got caught and then it would be different, right? They said multiple teams got warning letters and blah, 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 blah. But the Yankees were the only one that was sealed. But we're not hearing about no other team other than the Red Sox, the Yankees, and the Astros. So the only person I'm talking about right now is the Yankees, the Red Sox, and Astros. The Red Sox and Astros paid for their stuff. The Yankees only had a $100,000 fine. Which means what to the Yankees? Nothing. So, you know what I'm saying? So, at the end of the day, I'm not trying to hear it. You feel me? It's not about cheating, it's cheating, right? Because at the end of the day, there's a difference between deciphering codes however you do it and then you doing whatever you're doing by using the technology, which is the same thing the Astros did, but they took it a step further and wanted to bang on trash cans and use the center field camera. So they took it a step further. They dragged the whole situation, but it's something that started with you guys. So thank yourself for missing out on championships. Anyways, moving on. Talking about stealing and deciphering pitches, right? Yesterday's performance from Cookie Carrasco is just so reminiscent of a start that Steven Matz had in Philly, where at one point the Mets felt like the Phillies kind of were, but then Steven was like he was tipping pitches. And then last year, the Yankees, right, apparently they got into some beef with the Mets because the Mets felt like the Yankees were stealing signs. Remember, that was the whole game that Taijuan Walker pitched against the Yankees, right? That was game 2 of that series. And the Mets felt that the Yankees were trying to relay signs that the Mets had. Now, the Mets are not using the new technology, the pitch comms, right? They don't like it. They're not used to it. They're not comfortable. So they're going old school with it. So for me, I just feel like Carrasco, his pitches were flat, and the Cardinals were able to figure it out. They figured it out. However they figured it out, I don't care. They did some old school figuring out what's going on, and they did it. Because the way those hits were coming and the way it happened, it was just crazy to me. And I'm always a believer, like, listen, either the pitcher's tipping pitches or something's happening, because ain't no way he performs the way he performed against San Francisco, and then you face the Cardinals, and then you get bashed like that. But then it's baseball, so things happen. But it's my opinion. Anyways, so the Mets lose the game. They win the series. 6 straight series W's for the Mets to start the season, which is absolutely fantastic. And I know last week's episode was kind of messed up due to some audio issues, but I was trying to mention last week that the Mets they did this before. So they did it in 1986, they did it in 2015, and they did it in 2018. The only year that the Mets kind of fell flat on their face, was in 2018. Now, in 2018, I believe in 2018, the Mets dealt with some significant injuries or whatever the case may be, but it wasn't a good year. It wasn't a good year. They ended up in fourth place, and they only won 70-something games. Last year, they led the division 100 and something days, and they ended up in the same kind of situation. This year, I don't think it's going to happen. This year is different. I think this year is, the veterans that we got, the staff that we got, the coaching that we got. I just believe it's a little, it's not a little, it's significant, right? It's like when Joe Torre went to the Dodgers, I wouldn't say instantly they became a playoff team, but they became a playoff team. When Joe Torre went to the Dodgers, that was around the time I remember, Manny Ramirez went to LA and all that stuff. They had Hanley Ramirez. Those Dodger teams didn't make the playoffs, but they didn't have enough. They didn't have it. And the front office was going through some turmoil, which led to them ultimately selling the team in 2013. Right? But when Joe Torre went to the Dodgers, they started winning. Right? They started winning. Culture changed. They became one of the best teams. They became one of the best teams. Then the same thing kind of happened with Joe Girardi, right? When Joe Girardi came in his first year, the Yankees won a championship. Now you can say, oh, well, they had, it's literally the year after Joe Torre left, right? So he left in 2008. In 2009, the Yankees win a championship. I think Joe Torre goes to the Dodgers and around that time as well. But, these are managers can change the whole entire thing, right? Another good example, Dusty Baker, right? Remember when the Nationals signed them, they're winning a lot of games. They won 100 games, I think 90-plus games, almost 100 games 2 times. What happened both times? They got eliminated in the first round, right? But at that time, remember, they had Max Scherzer. They had Strasburg. And so, the Mets have a good team. They put the perfect chief in charge. And they have a good front office with unlimited amount of resources to make sure that this team becomes a playoff team or a championship team this season. So, I believe that if things start getting a little crazy, a little wild, I think Billy Epler is going to, really try to get on the phones and deal with it early. So what I mean by that is, starting tomorrow, the Mets and Phillies face each other 3 times. Then the Mets face Atlanta 4 times. The Mets go to Philly, and they play there 4 times. And then they come back. Then they go and they play Washington in Washington 3 times before we face the Cardinals. Right? So the Mets got about 14 games against the National League East. And that, to me, right, is the ultimate opportunity. The Mets have to be ultimate opportunists right now at this point in time in order to really, really walk away with this division. They have the capabilities to do so. They have every bit the capabilities to do so. So I fully believe that the Mets can and will win this division. Right now, the Marlins are hot. Right now, the Phillies are hot. They just swept the Rockies. The Rockies played absolutely horrible. If I tell you that the Rockies played worse defense than the Phillies, you wouldn't believe me, but they did. They lost. The Rockies played, I can tell you right now, by far the worst they've played all season long. And they got off to a good start. Good start. They beat the Dodgers in the first series of the season. So that is a developing story. But the Phillies are coming in hot. The Mets are coming off this whole fiasco with the benches clearing. So the Mets have to rein it in. Let's focus on Philadelphia and let's win this series. Right? So let me explain. In May, we have, right? So the last 2 games of this month are the Phillies. There's 3-game set starting tomorrow. Then on Monday, we start a 4-game series doubleheader on Tuesday against the Braves. Acuna's coming back. Of course, you need him. You're facing the number 1 team in the division. You want your best player. So, ain't mad at them for that. We want the Braves at their best. The Phillies as well. They're hot. We get them at their best. We face some of their best. We got Aaron Nola tomorrow. We got Gibson Saturday. And then they're going to throw out Zach Eflin on Sunday. Zach Eflin has pitched well against the Mets in the past. And so has Gibson. So the Phillies are kind of in a good spot here coming in to face us. But I think Buck is the perfect guy today to just let guys, take a day off, refresh. We come in tomorrow and we're going to turn the page. It's the Phillies now. Forget about the Cardinals. The Cardinals don't come in until May 16th. We'll worry about that then. But after the Braves, we go to Philadelphia for 4. Day off Monday, the 9th. Then on the 10th, we start a 3-game series against the Nationals in Nationals Park in Washington. Right? Then after that, it gets a little bit more interesting. We face Seattle for 3, good team. We face St. Louis for 4, 4-game set. It's imperative that the Mets don't let this get out of hand. They need to at least have a winning record in the next 14 games. So by the time May 12th comes, we have to at least have 20-plus wins, right? And it's no pressure. It can happen, right? It can definitely happen. But these are division games. Bats need to get hot. So hopefully that happens. Hopefully that happens. So that's what's going to come for the next couple of weeks, right? So it's NL East action for the next couple of weeks. And this is the opportunity for the Mets to walk away with the winning record against the division and just extend that lead. Give yourself some breathing room, right, against the division. And the Marlins are playing very well as well, but they have a good staff. They have a good rotation. So it's all right. We're gonna hang in there. We're here to play. And we're here to play ball. We're not here to sit and mope and and focus on any negative stuff. We're here to play ball. That's what the Mets are here to do, and that's what I expect them to do, is to play ball, play well. I believe in this staff. Cookie Carrasco had a, it was a troubling start, but you know what? Come back against the Braves and, pitch your butt off and just get it popping, right? For the Phillies, they're just hot. Hitters are getting hits. They're hitting home runs. They're just, their usuals are just getting on base, and they're doing what they got to do. As far as the Mets are concerned, I feel like they just need to continue doing what they're doing. Have their starters pitch a little bit deeper in the games, get into the sixth inning, hand it over to the bullpen, give it over to the right guys. Drew Smith needs to pitch the eighth inning. Edwin Diaz pitches the ninth. And then when Edwin Diaz is not available, Ottavino is perfectly fine to close out a game. But right now, the Mets have to lean on Ottavino, Drew Smith, and Edwin Diaz at the end of the ball games. Like, you have to have the end of the game. You have to have the bullpen set for that. Because I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it when you got guys like Reed Foley coming in and giving up runs and walking the whole entire world. You know what I'm saying? Shreve is good. He's fine. I just feel like now they're going to dumb down the rosters. Monday they got a real tough decision to make. Whatever decision that is, I just hope that when they make that decision, it's with having a set of bullpen in mind. The bullpen by committee stuff is not going to work with this team unless you're going to go out there and you're going to find yourself somebody like a Craig Kimbrell or a Josh Hader to come in and kind of just, give the bullpen some breathing room. That ain't happening. That is not happening, and it's not happening right now. So I think the Mets need to get together, figure it out, what works, and go with it. Because it's just we cannot continue to run people out there that's not like Trevor May coming in the 7th and 8th inning, not feeling it. I think he should be pitching in the 6th inning. Fine. He should be, especially if we have a lead, that's okay. But going the 2 innings with Trevor May, I don't think is working, right? So I just think you need to work him back in slowly. Seth Lugo is someone you can also rely on. Hopefully he gets, he has everything in motion. Hopefully the bullpen gets it right. It's a very, very, very important series. I'm not going to sit here. Yes, I'm happy. Yes, I'm confident we will win this series. But do not fall asleep. You cannot fall asleep on the wheel, not at this particular time. This is where we messed up last year. This is where we messed up in July, when we had the opportunity to put our foot on the NL East throat, and we didn't do that. We let them win games and get back in it, and then Cinderella story happened. We cannot let that happen this time. We have to be that dominant force. We have to be that dominant team, and we have to take over. Right? It's not about taking part anymore. It's not about being a part of the rest. It's about being the best. It's about taking over. My whole thought going into this season and the way the season has unfolded over the last couple of weeks, when I'm looking at the standings, right, because everybody checks the standings and the box scores every now and then. I do it from time to time. But when I look at the standings in years past, I always looked at the division first, because either the Mets were behind and I wanted to see how many games we were back and how many games we can make up, or to see how many games we're ahead that we, are losing the lead, if we're losing a lead. With the loss yesterday and the off day today, the Phillies kind of made up a whole game. And the Marlins, they made up a whole game. So now it's a 3-game lead instead of a 4.5-game lead. So that's a game and a half gone off a loss and then a day off. So we have to continue to play fundamental sound baseball, which we did not do yesterday. fundamental, sound baseball, smart baseball, high IQ baseball. If we do that, the Mets will come out on top. But it's all about taking advantage of the situation, right? I just feel like we are better than the Phillies, and we have to prove that. How do we prove that? We got to work the counts. We need to see a maximum of at least 5 to 6 pitches every at bat. And the reason why I say minimum is because, you can get a hit first pitch strike hit. You can get a 2-1 count hit. You can get a 3-0 count hit, 3-1 count hit, But sound, fundamental, situational baseball has to be played this weekend. It's very, very important. I can't stress it enough. But looking at the standings this year, I found myself looking at the entire league because I feel in my heart of hearts that the Mets could be the best team in the National League, bar none. I believe we could be better than LA. I believe we could be better than San Francisco. I believe that the Mets are the best team in the National League. And so now when I look at the standings, I'm not looking at the Phillies or the Marlins or the Braves. I'm looking at the Dodgers, the Giants, making sure, hoping that, all right, we're ahead of them. We're ahead of them, right? The Giants, they faced us. They lost 3 or 4. They went on our absolute run, right? So you got to give them that at least, that's what good teams do, right? Especially when they lose a series, when they lose 3 or 4 to a really good team, they don't sit there and mope. They come back and they win ball games. They come back and they win 2, 3, 4 in a row, right? So let's not make this a streak. Let's end it right there. We lost the game. Fine. We're over it. Turn the page. Tomorrow, we black the lights out and we play against the Phillies. That's it. Play fundamental, sound baseball. That's all we have to do. I understand their pitchers are good. I understand Kyle Gibson is good. I understand Nola can be very, very good. I understand that Zach Eflin can be very, very good. But we have to be better. That's it, plain and simple. The Cardinals, did they win that game? Did they feel like they got the upper hand? Fine. But at the end of the day, even Nolan said it, the best team won. And we played better baseball. It's as simple as that. They had a good game. They had a really good game, and they won. Unfortunately, that whole thing had to happen, but it had to happen because the Mets are not going to let nobody step on them. It's as simple as that. So, again, we got the Phillies tomorrow. Tylor Megill versus Aaron Nola. Megill has been fantastic. Hopefully he keeps it up. And again, just continue to play your ball, your way. No other way. Nothing else changes. Just keep playing and win. Honestly, I just feel like we got guys that are so good at getting on base that this team is bound to just continue to score runs. We're scoring runs, one of the top teams in scoring runs. The Mets lead the league in a bunch of categories. So it's not just on record, right? It's not just based on record. The reason why the Yankees didn't get flushed down the toilet was because they were pitching very well. They were just not winning games because their offense was anemic. They woke up. Now they're winning games. So, that's the same thing that has to happen. We're pitching well. Offense need to continue to follow that. The Mets have been averaging around 4.5 runs per game. They need to continue averaging the 4.5 runs per game. Take that 4.5 runs per game against the Phillies, against the Braves, and just keep scoring. That's it. That's all I can say. At the end of the day, that's all I can say. I understand things are, off balance because it was a short spring training. Honestly, I don't care. We have to go ahead and play fundamental sound baseball, and we have to play the right way. No boneheaded plays. No Mets are going to Met. None of that stuff. We need to play sound, fundamental baseball and not let nothing get into our heads. Go out there, play the Phillies, beat the Phillies, and continue to roll. That's it. It's as simple as that. They're beneath you. You need to play them as such. They're beneath you. So that's that. You play them as such. You play them as they're a team that is beneath you, and you continue to roll that way. Hopefully we get the ground by June, in the beginning of June, and once he comes in, everybody's healthy and everybody's rocking and rolling, we'll be good to go, right? So that is that's everything we have. That's everything we have right now. Things are getting fun. Things are getting interesting. The Mets are a team that everybody's talking about, and if you're not talking about them, you should be talking about them, because this is a very good, very interesting team. They're doing a lot of good things. They're doing a lot of fun stuff. And this is going to be a very good season. They need to keep it up. Don't get in your head. Keep playing. Keep rolling. And that's it. Just do that. I understand Lindor went on a little funk. He got out of it yesterday, hit an RBI double. So hopefully that just continues. Just let it continue. Don't mope. Don't sit around and just hang your head. Nothing to hang our heads over. We won 6 straight series in a row. Continue to win, and it won't matter. Simple as that. It's nothing to cry over. Teams lose games, right? In order to, San Francisco won 105, 107 games last year. They lost about 50-something games. So you're still losing a lot of games, right? It's not like you're losing 10, 20, 30, no. You're still going to lose 50, 60 games, even if you win 90 plus or 100. So understand that. Let's understand that. To win 100, we got to lose 62. So it's not over. It's not the end of the world. We ain't dead yet. Oh, at all. This is a very good team, and the numbers tell you otherwise. That's why I believe in this squad, because the numbers tell you otherwise. Look it up. Look at the team statistics. Look at where they're at. Look at where they're hitting. Look at how they're hitting. Look at how they're approaching everything. It's one of the best on-base teams, one of the best teams at drawing walks, best teams in scoring runs, one of the best teams at getting the job done. So let's continue to do as such. And you already know, guys, I don't have to stress it enough. When it comes to the Mets, it's for life. And we're going to be back here on Monday, recap the weekend series against Philly, and we're going to preview the 4-game set, and which includes a doubleheader on Tuesday. We're doing all that on Monday. You can catch me, guys. You can catch me on TikTok. I do the TikToks updates every single day, all the time. I live tweet during the games. I'm starting to do that a little bit more and more. You guys can also catch me here on YouTube. We're going to do a lot more for you guys. We're going to get a lot more interviews popping off. We're going to get in contact with more people to get some interviews. We're going to be in here putting in work. So it's like I always say, help me grow. We help each other grow. We help the community grow. This is a very, very good team, and we're going to make it happen. You already know. Let's go Mets.
Though every day you do not see me, I'ma be there when you need me, 'cause I'ma come through. You ain't gotta wait for long, 'cause I'ma come through. For you, I'ma come through. 'Cause I'ma come through.